As everyone knows, the Roblox Doors Hotel Plus update has finally dropped randomly last night, and lots of new features such as brand new cutscenes, more new items, and also a complex new ending that is now being referred to as the hardest part of the new update. But what about this new ending? Well, you better like and subscribe because this will be insane. Now, it takes no raw command to know that the game was able to change its previously lackluster and relatively short ending into something that we are all exposed to right now. Along with the change in music, the developers have gone above and beyond with reconstructing how the new ending looks, especially if we dive within the newly updated classified Doors files. In the previous version, Doors 90 through 99 would essentially be the same as the whole rest of the game, with the exception that dark rooms would occur a lot more, and also the higher chances of running into ambush as well. Well, in this newer version, these rooms have been completely replaced with a whole new structure simply known as the greenhouse. Now, why would it be called the greenhouse, you may be asking? Well, just take a look at what's growing around in the room. It's a bunch of plants and vines. Makes sense to call it a greenhouse, right? Now, it is true that Rush does spawn very aggressively during this stretch, but more importantly, he spawns within dark rooms, which means one of two things. You have to rely on your hearing in order to listen for Rush, especially when he's coming by throughout the dark rooms, or you can also just use a candle as a tool in order to know exactly when he is coming. And number two, you can always just stand right next to a wardrobe, cause that will save your life. Be careful of those vine traps within the ground as well, as those can actually trap and hurt you for a couple seconds, leading you right into Rush. Now, we also do have to talk about Door 100, as that was one of the biggest changes to the whole entire game. The ending has been completely revamped, there's no question about that. Previously, Room 100 was good, though the ending room was relatively small, and major flaws such as a famous figure skip did make the ending way more easier than it should have been. Well, in this new version of Room 100, it has been completely redone, and it's also 2 to 3 times bigger than what the room used to be. It does feature many new hiding spots and paths within the structure. You also even have hazards such as oil or even hazardous waste with a live wire near it, which just adds even more to the environment. You know, you definitely do not want to play with those kind of stuff. But that's not all. When it comes to the figure, players are also greeted with its new cutscene of Figure rolling down the stairs, but guess what? Players aren't able to do old skip tricks anymore, forcing them to hide inside the closet to get past the entity. So you guys better practice up your rhythm game skills because things just got a whole lot harder. Not only has the staircase also been changed and to be a little bit bigger, it does incorporate even more floors compared to just 2 from the previous version. Of course, it does lead into the elevator as well, which you guys already know that's what's to be expected, to be honest. And honestly, the side-by-side screenshot resemblance between both just shows it all. One major mechanic that the developers did add in though, players now have to collect 10 generator buttons in order to complete and fix the electrical control box to operate the elevator. These buttons can actually be found all throughout Room 100. I mean, there's one right there just chilling on the ground, you know? But yeah, you're gonna try and avoid Figure while trying to find all of these buttons if that's not hard enough. And that also means that it's going to take quite the bulk of your time when you're trying to beat the game. The problem with the legacy ending was that it was just way too short, especially with that shortcut trick. Any seasoned veteran could have beaten the game in as quick as 3 minutes if they really wanted to, but now it will take players between 10 to 20 minutes, if not longer. And of course, once you've collected all of the electrical panel buttons, a really funny cutscene is then played featuring the figure getting put on fire due to that live wire and oil on the ground, and we're stuck watching him flail his arms in despair. Honestly, that's super funny, not going to lie. But as for that electrical box mini game, it's pretty much straightforward. It's honestly very similar to what it used to be before, but we do have a couple small changes. For example, the first circuit is now much slower than usual, leading into the second circuit, which is what we are normally used to, and the last circuit would be sped up quite a bit to make things even harder. It's like they're adding in a degree of difficulty, which makes sense. Usually in the beginning it's easier, and as it gets towards the end, it gets harder. As for escaping room 100 and the figure,
There he is.
well, it's pretty much the same thing once again. Though you do get that new ending cutscene, which does change things quite a bit. We also have this very strange new room, which features a magical aura-shaped rift deep within the door's environment, and also the walls, which are also emitting the same type of energy as well. Apparently this system is known as the rift, and if you have any items that you'd like to save for your next run, you can input them into the rift, and you will spawn in with those same items on your next run. This is actually a decent system in order to help encourage replayability, especially for future runs within the game. But in short, this new Room 100 is a lot more longer, which forces players to hide more and use more game sense compared to the older version, which was a much needed improvement. It just goes to show you how much developers have been putting into this update these past couple of months. And with all of these new additions, the community seems to be very pleased with them as well. But what do you guys think about the new ending? Let us know down below, and peace.